I honestly don't know who I think I am to do a 24-hour reading challenge the week before Christmas. And I'm having so much fun. Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the start of a new reading vlog. Today we are going to be doing a 24-hour reading vlog. I've done this a couple of times, but I think this week we're going to do the timer method, which I'm going to set a timer for 24 hours on my phone, and I will keep the timer going while I'm reading. I will pause when I'm not reading. So I'm actually reading for 24 hours. We'll see how long this takes me to do. I'm hoping to do it in 3 days, which means 8 hours of reading every day, which is a lot, but it is a challenge. So let's challenge ourselves, shall we? Now, why am I doing this reading challenge? That's a great question. I am heading into the last week of school before Christmas break, so I would really love to just rest and enjoy my time before Christmas break starts. So I thought, what better way to rest and relax than to read for 24 hours? Why not? So let's talk about the TBR. I do have quite the stack. These are all books on my physical TBR that I would love to get read at some point soon. How many is this? 6 books? This feels unlikely, but this is what we're working with. Let's quickly talk through our stack. First up, we have Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This is a YA Queen of Hearts retelling. I feel like this would be a quick read, so this is going on the list. We have Frigid by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I was sent this arc. This is quite short, and I believe it is set in the winter at a ski resort. I think our 2 main characters are friends to lovers. They get stuck at the ski resort, and someone might be stalking them, following them. I don't know. I'm like, this could be a wild time. I also feel like I could just breeze through this if it's like a quick moving, keeps me on my toes kind of read. Then we have Canadian Boyfriend by Jenny Holiday. I got this from my library this week because I'm kind of over Christmas romances, like holiday romances, but I feel like Hockey Player, this might be like winter-y, and I might really enjoy that. Also, I think this will be a very quick read. And we have Us Against You by Frederick Backman. As you know, I'm rereading the Beartown series before picking up The Winners, so this is book 2 in the trilogy. I have this on audio as well, so it'd be great to have an audiobook to kind of get into. And I have read this before, but I do not remember much of anything that happens, so this will be a good one to read. I really need to read this before the end of the year. We have The Key to My Heart by Leah Louise. I don't know much about this. I think this is set in a little English village, and it looks kind of wintry because of the snow and stuff. I don't know. I love Leah Louise's writing, and I think this might be like a good choice for the winter months, and I have had this on my shelf for quite a while, so I need to get it read. It's just over like 330 pages, so this will be a quick read as well. And then last but not least, we have 5 Broken Blades. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this book, but I want to at least give it a shot, and then if I don't like it, I can unhaul it before the end of the year is kind of what I'm thinking in putting this book on the list. Also, we have a lot of romances here and not so much fantasy, so I wanted to have another fantasy option. That is the current TBR that we have. I also have my Kindle with Kindle Unlimited books in case I want to pick up something else, but so far, this is kind of what we're looking at. This is a lot of reading, but 24 hours is also a lot of reading, so I'm hoping I can get through some of these books in the next few days. Let's go ahead and start the timer and start reading for our 24-hour reading challenge. hours and 15-ish minutes, and I am just over halfway through Canadian Boyfriend. I'm on page 187, and there are 362 pages in this book. So yeah, just about halfway, and I'm having so much fun. We open on our main character, Rory. She is a high school student working at a coffee shop at the Mall of America, and this guy, Mike, comes up, and he is a hockey player from Canada, and they kind of hit it off, but she essentially like makes up this story in her mind that he is her Canadian boyfriend, not fake boyfriend, Canadian. And she like writes him letters over the years pretending that he's her boyfriend, and he has no idea. Like, they meet at this coffee shop once and that's it. Like, they never talk again. And then 13 years later, which is when the book takes place, she runs into a man named Mike, who is a Canadian hockey player, because his daughter is a dancer at the studio where she teaches. And she kind of like gets involved in their lives because of various reasons. His wife has recently passed, and so she kind of jumps in to like help him out with his daughter. And she doesn't think it's the same Mike, but like their eyes are the same color, and like there's something about it that makes sense to her. The names, obviously, but he seems a lot older than what she assumed he would be. So she hasn't told him, but they're obviously like getting involved emotionally. They're spending a lot of time together, and she's been keeping this secret, and like I'm so afraid that it's gonna come out and he's gonna take it the wrong way. But it's just really fun. It's dual POV. He's a hockey player, but he's not like this crazy hockey star. He's just a single dad, plays hockey as a job, and they live on the lake, and it's very cute, and I'm having a good time. There's a lot of great conversation going on. There's obviously conversation about grief happening because of the loss of his wife and the loss of his daughter's mom, of course. So I love that aspect as well. And I just think it's like a fun, good time. There's like some good banter. There's good conversation. There's not too much inner dialogue. Like, they really are talking to one another. And it's just like a really fun, easy story. So right now it is Christmas, which is kind of fun in the book. And I love that I get like a little bit of winter without it being like a holiday romance, if that makes sense. So I'm excited to keep reading this. Unfortunately, I need to make some cookies. Kind of unfortunately. Unfortunate that I have to put this down because I need to make some cookies, but I do have an audiobook. I have Us Against You by Frederick Backman on audio, so I think I'm gonna start that and listen to an audiobook while I do some cooking, cleaning, things around the house for later on. And I will come back when I have like a little time update for you. But so far, like, I'm having such a good time. So this was such a good library pickup. I'm really happy about this. I honestly don't know who I think I am to do a 24-hour reading challenge the week before Christmas. Alas, here we are. We have 18 hours and 40 minutes left in this challenge, and I finished Canadian Boyfriend last night. This was so cute. I have officially finished Frigid. This was not for me. 2 stars. I feel like there was some potential here, and that's why I'm a little frustrated, I guess. Our main concept, we've got childhood friends who both have feelings for each other, but they don't show it because they don't think the other person is attracted to them or has feelings for them. They get stranded at his family's like ski house in the midst of a crazy snowstorm, and no one else from their like group makes it, so they're by themselves. And then some things start happening in which, like, you know, someone is kind of like stalking them or out to get them or something. And I guessed from like the first 50 pages who that person is. And throughout this time, they obviously start, you know, sharing their feelings or giving into those feelings, I might say. So I think there was potential here. Like, overall, that sounds interesting to me. That's why I picked this book up. But I do feel like all of those elements just weren't fleshed out very well. Like, I feel like the stalker side was not that dark, and it just kind of felt a little weak to me. the relationship side, like obviously they know each other really well, so it's going to be more of a physical connection in this book because they have been friends since they were kids. But you didn't see a lot of like actual chemistry between them, like emotional intimacy, I would say. And you've got like glimpses of their past, but not enough to like, why are they best friends? What have they been through together? Like it felt very shallow. You know, he likes to sleep around, she does not. And it just kind of felt a little like, I don't know, very stereotypical to me and very generalized in their portrayals as male characters and female characters. And I just didn't love that. So I don't know. I feel like this had a lot of potential, and I think it made me realize like I want something a little bit darker if I'm gonna have like a stalker aspect to this or like a mystery aspect. I want it to be darker than this, and this just felt a little like meh to me. So 2 stars. Overall, it took me 2 hours and 30 minutes to read, so not bad. My timer is now at 16 hours and 5 minutes. I need to pick another book. I think, as discussed earlier, I'm going to pick up Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I think this will take me a lot longer than the last one, but it is YA, so I feel like I'll breeze through it pretty quickly. I'm excited to pick this up because I've heard this book talked about a ton. I don't know if it's going to be personally for me, but I'm glad to be reading books off my shelf, which is exciting. And I don't know, I think that's kind of like the mood that I'm in. So let's go ahead and get Heartless and start reading it. I have to be honest with y'all. 24 hours of reading is a lot of reading. I knew this, I've done this challenge before, but it feels like so much reading right now. And I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea to do that this week, but we are in it. It's too late to turn back now. I have 12 hours and 2 minutes left on the timer, and I am currently about halfway through both of these books, Us Against You and Heartless. I've actually been reading Heartless on my Kindle because I found it on Kindle Unlimited, in case you're interested. Yay. And I've been listening to the audiobook of Us Against You. I forgot how many new characters this book had in it and kind of the turn that this book takes, because it's very different from Beartown. And I'm loving it. I just totally forgot, so I'm happy to be reading this. I think I said this before. It feels like I'm reading it for the first time again, which is so fun. This is a continuation of Beartown. Love the writing. Love Frederick Backman's mind. He's an absolute genius. There's also like all these little moments, and you can kind of see it in the writing, but like he takes these like paragraph breaks to write like 1 sentence or 2 sentences that feels like so poignant and important and perfect. He's incredible, like a genius. I'm loving this, of course, and I will probably be listening to that audiobook this entire vlog. So I'm not going to keep talking about it. I'll just let you guys know my progress and my final thoughts when I finish, because 12 hours left. I will finish. I am also about 40%, I want to say, into Heartless, and overall I'm having a good time. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really remember Alice in Wonderland. That's not like a book or a movie that was really important in my particular childhood. I have seen the movie before, like when I was a child, but it's not something that's hugely important to me. So I feel like there are things in this book that are coming up that I'm like, oh, I kind of remember that from the movie. And I kind of want to read Alice in Wonderland or watch the movie after I finish, because I feel like it would help me kind of understand some of the little characters or moments that are kind of interesting and different in this world that would be like, oh yeah, that's from the original Alice in Wonderland. But essentially we have our main character, Catherine. She is a lady in the land of hearts, and the king likes her. The king wants to court her. He wants to marry her, but she wants to open up her own bakery, which is completely like frowned upon in this culture because she is set to marry someone of importance, aka the king, but she really wants to follow her heart and open up a bakery. She ends up meeting the court joker, and they kind of have a little thing going on right now. And there's also some like sinister things that are happening. There's a creature of night and darkness that kind of keeps creeping up, and so I don't know like what the overarching story is going to be here. We've just met Catherine. We know her desire to be a baker. We know her best friend and who she wants to open up a bakery with. We know that the king wants to court her and marry her, and we've gotten like a few moments of court life. We've had like a tea party, we've had a ball, we've had a couple of little moments where we're meeting some different characters, but overall, like, I know she likes the Joker likes her. I don't know how this is going to end. I'm assuming she's going to end up being the Queen of Hearts and loses her heart, I believe. But I think the writing is really interesting. It's kind of reminding me of Caraval in a way. If you've read Caraval and Heartless, let me know in the comments if you agree with that statement. And not necessarily the writing style, but just kind of the whimsiness of both of these worlds, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna keep reading this tonight. I would love to get to 8 hours tonight because I need to finish this vlog tomorrow. It's going to happen. I tried to stay up late last night, but kid things happened. So tonight I'm gonna stay up on my Kindle and hopefully finish Heartless. I don't know, it's like 450 pages and I'm almost at page 200. So I feel like it's doable. Wish me luck. We are on day 4 of our 24-hour reading challenge, and I am determined to finish this challenge today. I have 6 hours and 54 minutes left on the timer. It is 1:30 p.m. So the countdown is on. I will stay up as late as possible tonight to finish this challenge because I cannot let this keep going. I'm determined. I need to give a quick update of Heartless. I have just about 100 pages left in this book, and I think I gave a brief description. I feel like there's so much that has come out in the last 100-ish pages, but essentially Catherine, she is our main character. She is the daughter of the Marquis, and she has caught the king's fancy. She is much younger than him. She doesn't want to be the queen. She wants to open up her own bakery. She has her dreams, but he begins to court her. And while she is being courted by the king, she meets his Joker. He calls himself Jest, and he's a little bit mysterious. He's got some secrets. I think she's attracted to him. She's like, they're drawn to each other, and essentially she wants to be with him instead of the king, but she doesn't know how to make that happen because of her parents, because of society, etc. But there's also like this kind of dark, nefarious force underlying all of our events. We've got balls, we've got tea parties, we've got all of this stuff. And throughout all of these events, the Jabberwock continues to show up and hurt people and destroy a party. And I'm not sure, because I think I mentioned this, I'm not like the biggest Alice in Wonderland fan, so I'm not sure like where this part of the story is going, but I'm really enjoying the overall tale. Like, I think the storytelling is very good. I wouldn't say that I'm like the most drawn into the characters and feel really invested in this story, but it's keeping me on my toes. It makes me want to keep reading because I want to know what happens next, because I feel like it's not predictable for me personally. It's keeping my interest, it's keeping me intrigued into the story, it's making me want to pick it up and read, which I think is a good sign. I feel like right now my rating is probably like a 3.75, which I feel like is good. I feel like the ending is probably kind of predictable for me based on what we know about the Queen of Hearts and obviously the title. So I'm kind of understanding what's going to happen at the end, but I want to know how we get there and kind of the resolution about our like kind of dark villain and how we're going to get to the end, if that makes any sense. So I'm having a good time. I feel like the last 100 pages will probably take me like just over an hour. And I'm about 60% into Beartown, maybe a little bit more actually. So I definitely feel like I finished both of those today. I'll need to pick up another book. I'm thinking I might pick up something on my Kindle, maybe something quick that I can read in just like 3 hours or so, but I'll keep you posted when I pick something. And obviously we'll let you know my final thoughts on Heartless when I finish this. So I have about an hour right now. I'm going to sit down and try to get some more reading done. And then tonight, all reading all night. We've got some reading updates. I have finished both Heartless and Us Against You. We have 3 hours and 7 minutes left on our timer, but let's quickly talk about my final feelings on these books. Us Against You, I was like crying while making dinner. This is so sad at the end. I honestly forgot what happened. So quite a shock when I remembered as I was listening what was happening. I'm going to pick up The Winners in January. I'm very excited to read it because this is also fresh in my mind, and I'm not sure like where they're gonna go with the story from here. I don't know if it jumps in time or if it's like right after this book or what have you, but I love these characters like Bobo and Benji and Amma and Maya. Like they all have my heart, and I like my heart breaks for all of them. So I love this. I love Frederick Backman's writing. I want to go back and read like his backlist. I also know he has a new book coming out in May, I want to say. It's called My Friends. It looks really interesting. Very excited for his new stuff, but I'm going to read The Winners next. This was a slam dunk, 5 stars, of course. And then I did end up finishing Heartless, finally. I feel like this took me longer than I anticipated it taking. I ended up giving this 3 stars because I feel like while I enjoyed it, like it was an enjoyable read, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. I just felt like I didn't really connect with the characters or with the storyline. And maybe it's just because this book is not written for me personally. Like I think if you are an Alice in Wonderland fan, you might have more of a good time with this just because you kind of understand the world and the characters, and with the people and the things and the little magics that they're mentioning, this might suit someone better if they understand the Alice in Wonderland world a little bit. That being said, I had a good time reading it. The ending lost me a little bit, and I think 1, it was pretty predictable, which is fine, but 2, I felt like some moments that should have been more hard-hitting just fell a little flat for me, and that was kind of a bummer because I was like, oh, this could have been like a really poignant moment, or this could have been a really powerful moment, and it just wasn't. So I'm giving it 3 star. Not a bad book, not an all-time fave, but that's fine. I'm glad I read it. I did think it was interesting. I do want to pick up some more of Marissa Meyer's writing in the future. I've heard the Renegade series is really good, so I might check out that one. I also have heard the Cinder series is very good, so there's more of hers that I would like to read in the future. This was a great like introduction to her writing, so I enjoyed that. That being said, I have just over 3 hours left to read on the timer. I'm going to pick up a holiday romance on my Kindle. I know I said I was done with them, but I found one that I'm really interested in. It's called Hostile for the Holidays, I want to say. They grew up across the street from each other, kind of like childhood rivals to lovers. He's been in love with her forever. She thinks they hate each other, so it's kind of an interesting dynamic, and I believe there might be some fake dating involved, so I'm curious. It's just over 200 pages, maybe 250. So I'm going to read that pretty quickly, and then we'll see what I have left. right, it is time to wrap up this reading vlog because I did in fact finish my timer and I successfully read for 24 hours this week. I am so tired, to be honest. This was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I have done this challenge in the past. I've done it a couple of different ways. I think because I did this at a time where I was really busy, it felt like a lot of reading. I do, however, believe the timer method is the easier way to do this 24-hour reading challenge for multiple reasons, right? Like you can sleep, you can do it over multiple days. I also think it like restarts your brain when you take a break from reading. So your 24 hours, like you're more successful in the amount of reading that you get done because your brain isn't tired from reading, if that makes sense. Like it is a lot of reading, yes, but it's over several days. So I think it gives your brain a little break, which was nice. But let's quickly review all the books that I read in this vlog. I ended up listening to Us Against You by Frederick Backman. This was 5 stars. We know we love this book. I read Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I gave this book 3 stars, which I feel good about still. I think, yeah, I don't want to keep talking about this book because I feel like I've talked about it a lot, but I am excited to read more from Marissa Meyer in the future. I read Frigid by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Do not recommend. I gave this 2 stars. I might even move it down to like a 1.5. This was not it for me. And I also read Canadian Boyfriend by Jenny Holiday. I don't know if I rated this book. I think I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. This was such a fun time. Highly recommend. And then on my Kindle last night, I ended up reading Hostel for the Holidays, which was like a cutie little Christmas novella. I really enjoyed this one. It is a spicy good time. It is like short, but not too short. But I honestly like wanted more. I think I get that a lot with holiday novellas that I really enjoy is I just want more from these characters. Like I just want to spend more time with them. So I wish for this book that it was a little bit longer just because I wanted to spend more time with the characters. I do think I will pick up this author in the future. I think it's from Erin Hawkins. And it seemed like from the way she was talking about some other characters that there might be some like, interconnected books in her collection, so I might check out this author in the future. I found this on Kindle Unlimited. If you're looking for like a spicy holiday novella to finish out your holiday reading, I would recommend this one. And then I also finished A Court This Cruel and Lovely. I had like an hour left last night, so I just went ahead and finished it. I haven't vlogged about this book at all, but it is a series that I've had my eye on, so I just decided to pick it up before I started this reading challenge, and I had a good time. It's probably like a 3.5 star for me. It's the first book in a series, and I will continue that series in 2025. I think my biggest issue with this is some of the plot points are rushed through, like things happen very quickly, and I kind of like had to back read some things, and I was like, am I missing something? Like this happened really quickly. Was I supposed to be anticipating this? And it's just the way that the book is written. It's really fast paced, but I feel like they squished a lot of events together very quickly, and it felt like we didn't really like get to sit with a specific moment for too long. So the book was pretty long. It's at like, I think this book is 550-ish pages long, so maybe they were just trying to like wrap up this part of the story before moving on to the next book, but I feel like it could have been fleshed out a little bit more. I also feel like our romance could have been fleshed out a little bit more. I feel like the beginning, there's some good banter. We obviously know there's some tension. It's dual POV, so we do get like both our FMC and our MMC's perspective on each other, but I feel like when they get together for the first time, like from there out, it's like very quick right out the gate, like they are together, but not. And the physical aspect is very fast. And I think with the political drama that's going on in this book, it just felt like it was a little misplaced for me. But that could be a personal choice. I think I'm gonna give this book like a 3.5 star. I had a good time, and I definitely will continue the series in the future. I also found this one on Kindle Unlimited, so if you're looking for a new romantasy series, go ahead and check it out. Overall, I was able to finish 6 books in this reading challenge, which I think is really good for me. I got some books off my physical TBR. I got to finish some books that were on my December TBR. So overall, I'm feeling really good. I feel like I ended 2024 on a pretty solid note. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will hopefully catch you in the next one.